ever felt the last Sunday. My security, my safety, my life was in danger for the wrestling show.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show where after the smash, we sift through
the wreckage.
Boy. It was like a boing. Anyways, I am your host, Jimmy T. He is the best in the world, Jaime the Vet Williams, and that is the magnanimous, the glorious, the award-winning and award show host, I guess, later on today, Chabelo Vera Cruz. What's going on, man? And Happy New Year to both of y'all. And Vet, I guess we still got a few things to sift through the smash of AEW.
That's right. And luckily we have the professor here to help us. Don't forget all the nomenclatures and everything like that. We still got to work with Jimmy on these intros, Professor. I mean, he hasn't done it long enough. It's only been several years, so you got to keep it going. But how are you? How are you, sir?
I'm a little bit tired, guys. I just want to be honest with all the Hami nights out there because, you know, when you go to sleep and then you wake up with bubble guts, duty calls, nature calls, and all that stuff. But then I just remembered there was Wrestle Kingdom on, and the professor just said, you know what? While I was sitting on the toilet, I could watch Wrestle Kingdom on my phone. This is the beauty of technology, Hami nights, when you can watch it in the comfort of the bathroom and just be happy with it. But now my legs are tired, you know, my butt is tired, and now I'm really tired. I applaud you, Jimmy, even though you don't do this. You don't sit on the toilet all night. I'm just saying, you are staying up, Australia time, you do all this stuff. You are the workhorse. That's all I'm just saying. I applaud you. I am tired right now, but I'm going to keep it going for all the Hami nights.
I couldn't do it without you boys, but to be fair, like you say, Wrestle Kingdom for me is actually a great time because it's usually on. We've only got an hour difference between us and Japan, so it works for me every time I watch it. So you guys are the ones that are doing it tough when you have to watch Wrestle Kingdom, put it that way. So I applaud both of y'all. But anyway, let's get into some news, shall we? Because there's a bit of news, and I'm trying to avoid the
difference between Jimmy and the rest of the world right now.
Well, yeah, that's true. But that also includes Japan for you guys. But anyway, let's get into some news. And let's start with apparently, allegedly. And I'll start with you, Vet. Tommaso Ciampa is reportedly expected to leave WWE once his contract expires. It seems, Vet, that he wants out. Do you blame him? And does it even really matter?
No and no. It doesn't.
Simple. I like it.
Yeah,
I actually like it a lot.
Yeah, Ciampa's one of those guys that he really worked hard to get where he was and to do what he did. And so he's one of those cases where on the one hand, I commend his efforts because I mean he went through a lot of, career threatening surgeries and things like that. And he got himself in phenomenal shape and, all this stuff. Right. So on just when we're just looking about perseverance and work ethic alone, you had to respect it. On the other hand, it was all just so that all that work was just so that I could feel like I wanted to watch anybody else in the ring but him, because I just didn't buy anything he was doing. I didn't care about DIY. I didn't care about him with this, hugging the NXT. That's when DIY started becoming the main event. That's when NXT started going down the tubes. I'm sorry. It just is and I don't think that as much as they work hard, Johnny and Tommaso don't bring enough to the table for me to justify their position in the company and their television time. I don't think that I think they already made it way too far, than they ever should have made it. And Ciampa was a guy that was at OVW when I was at OVW. So he's been doing this a long time. And so it kind of I feel like an asshole saying that, but it's not like we were ever friends, but I'm just, he was around, and I could not care any less about Tommaso Ciampa, and neither will anybody else when he's gone. I feel like even the fans it'll just be another day eventually. So I don't know, Professor. Am I wrong? Am I an asshole?
I'll go with a diplomatic approach, Bet. I can understand the truth bomb that you're speaking right now, which I'm not going to retort back, but I will just say this. Maybe you could understand. Maybe you could agree with this sentiment, Bet. Thank God there was NXT, that he can have that platform to excel as the main eventer when he had the belt and all that stuff in a smaller environment, in a niche audience. Yes,
excelled. He excelled.
Well, he excelled in an environment that was conducive for his talents. He's not a main roster guy. I agree with Vet on that. But he is a good NXT guy, and he brought value to the NXT product for that niche group. That's all I will say on that, because I enjoyed his work differently with DIY. I love the wars with DIY and FTR or the Revival. Again, the greatest tag team in the last 10 years. But again, neither here nor there. And of course, his heavyweight title runs. He was clutching, and I actually like the look of him clutching his baby. He was so obsessed with his baby and all that stuff. He named the belt, didn't he? I forget the name.
It wasn't like his baby or some shit anyway.
Yeah, but he named the belt. I forgot the name of the belt, but again, the name escapes. But again, you get what I'm saying, Jimmy. But he had a character there and he had a purpose there. But then he got lost in the shuffle in the main roster, and now it's fodder for the IWC to say, "Oh my God, Triple H fumbled on Tommaso Ciampa. We missed out on a WWE title run or a World Heavyweight title run or an Intercontinental title run or a U.S. title run with Tommaso Ciampa." So, Vet's right. No one's going to miss him to that extreme. Does he go to AEW? Sure. Okay. I can't wait for BTE right now on YouTube, where the Young Bucks are going to have a phone, their cell phone saying, "Oh, missed call, Tommaso Ciampa. What's going on?" Or TC. It's going to be TC, right? It's going to be on their phone. Like, TC is calling me.
Sure.
Who is TC? Stay tuned. And then, of course, I can't wait till I see Tommaso Ciampa against Commander on Collision on Saturday. I can't wait. Come on, Vet. You got to be excited for that. When you're going to review Tommaso Ciampa against Commander. El Clown. Come on. You know it. You want it.
No.
Look how excited
Sorry,
he looks.
No. I'm gonna apologize. I think I'm having internet issues. So if you see me cut out or something like that, because I see you guys freeze, and I know it's me though when you both do it. When Jimmy does it by himself, I can say, "Oh, I think Jimmy's having trouble." But I think
good lately.
Yeah, mine's been a little bit up and down. So let me get that out of the way up front. Just like Zane Vicious said, Goldie was the name of when he called the belt. I was going to say that right before he put that comment in, believe it or not, but that's when my thing froze. So I figured that.
Oh, well, anyway, in other news though, so whatever happens with Ciampa, the unfortunate thing though is that we're going to have to put up with him in AEW, unfortunately. So it's not like he's leaving us per se. But anyway, Scorpio Sky, though, in AEW news, saying not medically cleared to compete and he's pulled from events. Prof, I'll go to you first. I mean, is this guy injured every time he comes back after one match? Is that what's going on now with Scorpio Sky?
I mean, there's a rigorous AEW schedule that I'm not even abreast about, right? Because again, he's, it's a misfortunate thing, Jimmy. I'll say that on a serious tip, because again, right. He's trying to establish himself. He's got a platform, and he just doesn't, you call it bad luck. It's always bad luck. And then, the only run I remember him in AEW is, with Dan Lambert, with Ethan Page. That was the most enjoyable time for Scorpio Sky. And preceding that was the SCU, but he was on a roster of like 10 people. He was one of the first. So he had ample time to have TV time, and he was the inaugural AEW Tag Team Champion with Kaz. So with that being said, again, bad luck. Or, when you look on Collision, they were really reaming him. What was it? MVP was really reaming him, like very like storyline wise. And I was like, wow, you're really shitting on him, and he's injured. And then MVP was like, he can't cut the mustard. He had that kind of a approach to it. He can't cut the mustard. He's afraid. And then they had to sub in Dante Martin. And of course, Vet later on, we'll talk about that in the review. But I was looking at that like, why are you shitting on him with that? Well, hopefully he comes back to get revenge on the Hurt Business and stuff like that. Or is it a contract thing? Is it fine? Again, this is a conspiracy theory, Vet. I'm not saying I'm right, but again, when you shit on him that extreme, usually when you shit on somebody who's not there, there's some kind of things behind the scenes contract-wise, and then you just up and leave. And maybe he was at the arena and stuff like that. I remember those type of situations. Because then if it was just an injury, they could write him out and he could have got attacked, or maybe training-wise, something like that. Very natural. But when MVP like reamed on him, and I don't think you saw that on the TBS or TNT feed. I was watching it on the Triller feed. He was reaming him hardcore, truth bomb. So maybe that's because I saw that part. Maybe that's for the Triller fans to see that. But I was like, damn, they're doing it that way. Maybe it could be a contract thing. I don't know.
Well, Vent, is it a conspiracy? Is it a contract thing? Or is it just plain old bad luck? I mean, why is MVP even taking shots at Scorpio Sky? Are they frustrated? Is that what it is? Could it be Tony Khan through MVP showing his frustration with Scorpio Sky?
As far as that goes, I have no idea.
Right.
I also have no idea where Scorpio Sky got hurt, because I don't remember seeing this motherfucker on television for weeks. And you advertise him as of Wednesday that he's going to be on Collision in this match. And somewhere between Wednesday and Collision.
Oh, I think he's frozen, Prof.
Happened.
Oh, there you go. You're back. You froze.
Yeah, I don't see. That's what I'm saying. I'm already so mad. But so I don't know what you guys heard, but the point is, Scorpio Sky, I don't even know where he's been to get hurt. So whether he got hurt in the gym or something else, because I find it hard to believe he had some kind of a match injury in between Wednesday when he was advertised and Collision when, he wasn't there. So that's number one. Number two, right. Scorpio Sky is just another cheese sandwich out here. He's never done anything. It's the same thing as Ciampa. No big loss, no matter what happens. Like I'm sorry, there's just nothing there. And there's a million guys that are just the complete absolute middle of the road, like you're good enough to be better than the indie guys that wrestle in t-shirts and basketball shorts, but you're not as good as the guys that make real money in the business. You're just there just to exist and collect a paycheck. So my advice is to do it as long as you can. Like bald guys with beards like Scorpio Sky and Tommaso Ciampa have been collecting paychecks and doing absolutely jack shit of fuck all for years. And I advise them to do it as long as they can, especially if...
Wait, Vet, I'm sorry to cut you off. I just want to ask, what kind of cheese is Scorpio Sky? Is the provolone, Swiss, cheddar, gorgonzola?
Kraft singles.
Damn. That hurts. That hurts me. I drink to that.
That was brilliant, man. That's awesome. Kraft singles right there, man. That's bottom of the barrel shit right there. Anyway.
Yeah, it's like a craft singles slice is a very fitting metaphor for guys like Scorpio Sky. It's like you have this single slice of cheese and you got to do all this work to unwrap it with the little plastic flap and everything, and then this is all you get is this.
Yeah.
Same thing with Scorpio Sky. You hire this guy, you put him on TV, and this is what you get.
That's fucking good, man.
Anybody want a grilled cheese sandwich right now, guys? Y'all want a grilled cheese?
We got the heat shut off. We can't even grill it. The gas turned off because you didn't pay the bill, so we just got to eat a cold cheese sandwich now. It's named Scorpio Sky.
Yeah. No, nothing on it, just plain cheese. But you know what I mean. Not even toasted. Friggin' like Vet said, it's not even friggin' hot over there. There's no heat at all. Oh man, that was good. Anyway, in WWE news now, and that's pretty much the last thing. And I don't want to touch on any New Japan stuff, if you know what I mean. There's been a backstage update apparently on WWE's current plans for El Grande Americano after Chad Gable makes return from shoulder injury. So, as we all knew, Chad Gable has been out of action for WWE since this past June due to a torn rotator injury and surgery. During Gable's time away from injury, Ludwig Kaiser has been portraying the El Grande Americano character that was first portrayed by Gable. WrestleVotes Radio on
Jimmy, come on. Wait, Jimmy.
What?
Enough with the dirt sheet lies. I've seen Grande Americano since the 80s. It's not Ludwig. I've seen Grande since the 80s. At the stadium. I saw him 1989 against Carlos Colon. There's no Ludwig Kaiser back then. He wasn't even born then. This is blasphemy. Go ahead.
All right.
Go ahead.
This kayfabe. I'll just get to the point. The point is, all right, the other imposter, whoever he is, right?
Thank you. Good. Thank you.
Is ready to come back, right? And that'll be. I'm not sure what to do with the whole Grande Americano situation. Do you give it back to Gable? Do you give it? Do you keep it with Kaiser? And personally, I will keep it with Kaiser. But Vet looks extremely happy about me talking about this. So I'm going to ask him first. Once he's ready, do you put him? Because they even want what's it called? What is it? What is the tag team called again? American. What was it? American
the Creed Brothers. You're talking about, right?
Yeah, the Creed Brothers. They want them to become Rayo and what was the other one called? I forgot. Whatever. But the other two little dweebs, they want Gable to have his sort of crew as being Grande Americano and have Ludwig Kaiser and his crew doing the same thing. Basically, that's the rumor. Vet, because you're excited. Would you even want something like that, dude? Like, is that even a thing? Or would you just keep them separated and just keep Kaiser as Grande Americano?
I'm afraid to answer because I'm afraid that Don Stevens is going to mess with my router again and I'm going to go out.
No, you're all right. You're all right.
Yeah, I'm all right now. Wait till I get on a roll. Anyways, look, I already talked about this on Wednesday too. When Ray and I did the Next Level Wrestling review, he asked me the same fucking question.
I actually listened to it. I don't recall. Anyway, yeah. Funny.
Yeah. So somehow we got this old news again. But if you want to hear what we're talking about, what you should do is you have all these guys. Now you've got multiple characters, and you only have to pay them once. You should keep Grande Americanos as Chad Gable and Ludwig Kaiser, and have them as themselves also, and then all four of them need to interact with each other at different points in time. You know, funny. Yeah, the potential for if you have a room full of writers, this is like an absolute breeding ground for gold material, or like it's a gold mine or whatever again, metaphors you want to use. There's so much stuff you could do with that. And then if you have the other guys, I don't want to see Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate or whatever, but it's just, if you keep them as that, and then you do the other thing with the other guys, now you got even more characters. So now you got like a total of 6 people playing 12 characters. That's almost a roster in itself, is just the Americanos and their alter egos. So if you can't figure out something to do with that, then fuck you. Give me the money. I'm giving you these ideas off the top of my head, just sitting here after a hard day's work for free. It's your fucking job to travel around to city and sit in rooms and think of this shit and get money for it. So I don't want to hear any stories about, we don't know what to do with these guys. Fuck you. That's my take on it.
Well, that was good. Prof, what do you think? Do you agree with Vet? Do you have them all mixing? Do you have them all interacting? How would you do it if it was your choice of trying to make this thing work? And like Vet said, it should be easy to do, but
well, like I said, I've seen Grande Americano since the 80s. So again, I don't believe the hype about this being Ludwig or Chad Gable and stuff like that. I will not believe that. But you can actually have fun with the Royal Rumble. You have Grande Americano, all those people, and then you basically don't need 30 participants because of Grande Americano, Tyler Bate, I forgot the name, what the hell are their names?
The Bruiserweight.
Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne. You got 12 people. That's almost half the Rumble right there.
Right, that's half the Rumble, and then you have fun with it. They're already there. That's half the Rumble. You don't even have to start for 30 people. You already can use Chad Gable, the Creed Brothers, Tyler Bate, Ludwig Kaiser, and Pete Dunne, and then you could just, all you have to do is care about 20 people, and then the Creed Brothers, and right there is already set up for the Royal Rumble.
Do you have a doink moment? like where they're pointing at each other, doing that freaking shit in the middle of the Royal Rumble, or like a Spider-Man moment where they're pointing at each other. I can picture the memes. If other people smart, this would be spoken about for quite a while, if you know what I mean.
Here's the problem, Jimmy. Nostalgic wise, I'm with you there because it's funny. Like you said, it's a meme moment and you can just imitate. But these are the IWC. They want the matches. They want strong style. They want the high impact moves. It's got to be 5 stars. There's nothing. You are just, you're insulting the intelligence of the Marktards. They don't want to see that. They don't want to see comedy. They want to see. You're already insulting Chad Gable by putting him in this situation when Chad Gable's supposed to be having these 5-star matches. You're stopping that, Jimmy. You know this. You're stopping him from having that. You're stopping the Creed brothers. And already the Marktards are already having. We need to study the non-push of Tyler Bate from UK champion, the inaugural UK champion, to Mexican dumpster fire. What is this? This is Marktard logic right now going on. So again, I'm with you nostalgic wise, but with today's Marktards, this is a waste of time.
Well, you know what, fellas? Really, there's no more news to really talk about. But before we do sift through the wreckage, I believe we've got a Professor's Perspective award show that is about to begin, as a matter of fact.
You mean this?
Prof, take the seat and tell us what awards and who wins what and who's what. I don't even know what your whole thing is right now. Like, if I knew what the awards thing is, I would put it up. As in, what is it? Best this, best that.
You know how many nights I've done this on the Professor's Perspective channels when I had it. I've done it on the PWSO channel, so this is the first time. But I've done the Professor's Perspective Awards for the last 8 years. And the awards categories is so objective because it's not unlike SI, unlike the Observer. I've taken a little bit from here or there, but again, I sprinkle it. But the difference is I don't base it on my feelings, guys. I base it on what I see. Even people I don't like, I've given awards to. That's the thing. And the categories range from Career Renaissance Award winners, male and female wrestlers of the year, tag team of the year, match of the year, and the MVP award, or the most valuable personalities. So with that being said, let's get on to the first award, which is my personal favorite award, and that's the Career Renaissance Award. So Jimmy and Vet, for the history of this, I used to call this the Most Improved Wrestler Award, but I hated that. That was an insult to any wrestlers. Like, wait, they sucked last year and then they approved it the next year. That was insulting. So I changed the name to the Career Renaissance Award winner, meaning that the wrestler went a level up from one year to the next year. I thought it was a nice way to present it for all the Hami Nights right now. So with that being said, some considerations. The tabulations have already been scored, guys. So with that being said, I just want to give some, notifications, Vet, of who I considered the Career Renaissance Award winner. So for example, one of Vet's
the nominees are
no nominees. I'll just give you considerations.
The considerations are
Vet's favorite wrestler, Konosuke Takeshita, in the calendar year of 2025, winning the G1 Classic and becoming the IWGP Heavyweight Champion, for example. Another consideration from NXT, JC Jane, in the calendar year of 2025, she is the NXT Women's Champion, but also was the TNA Knockouts Champion. So with that being said, Jimmy, if you might please, the drum roll. And the winner of the 2025 Career Renaissance Award winner, no surprise, it is Dirty Dominic Mysterio, WrestleMania winning the Intercontinental Championship, and is the AAA Mega Campeon, the man who has taken over Mexico. He's the Bret Hart of 2025. He will be the Bret Hart of 2026, taking over the world right now. And I will guarantee you this, he will be a WWE champion in 2026. I don't know if it's going to be on the Raw side or the SmackDown side, but the Professor guarantees he's going to be a heavyweight champion. So I'll go with you, Jimmy. Vet, what's your reaction to the award winner?
Go Vet.
Well, I hate everybody that you named. So I guess it's like picking the less of the evils here.
I'm ain't evil.
Yeah, I think of those guys, you could probably have to make the case for Dominic. So congratulations on this young man. I'm sure he'd be here to accept the award in person, but he's so busy, with the rehab and everything.
I FedEx all the awards, Bet, so they don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, it's amazing. He's had a career year in a year when, how long has he been wrestling now?
Who does?
Over 20 years.
Over 20 years. He's Grande Americano, basically. Yeah, however long he's been wrestling, and he doesn't know how to take a DDT, so he hurt his shoulder. That's great. Congratulations to him. But luckily, he doesn't get over with stuff like that.
That's a deadbeat dad for you. Jimmy, any thoughts?
I'll just say I'm a dirty dumb guy, so I'm with you, man. I actually like the fact that he won the award, so I'm totally with you, Prof. But that leads us to the next topic or next
award.
That is, yeah. I've gone
He's
blank.
still
Don't
learning.
mind me today. I'm all over.
Don't worry. Maybe you can. Maybe in 2020 at the 2026 year-end awards, Jimmy, you can get the Career Renaissance Award.
I think I need it right now.
You'll be under consideration. I'm the tired one, Jimmy. You're acting the way I should be. But anyway, neither here nor there. So the next award we will give out is the 2025 Female Wrestler of the Year. And I'm going to say this. Maybe this will be the most agenda-driven one, Tommy Knight. So again, you might think it's an agenda, but I don't. Mercedes Moné is not even in consideration, but I'm sorry. Even though last year I gave her the 2024 Female Wrestler of the Year, but that was when she had 3 belts. But after this accumulation of the years, Tommy Knight, I'm sorry to say this. I need the contracted AEW star with 10, 12, 13 belts is not paramount for the professor. If she was not under contract, if she was not a full-time contracted star, be hands down, she'd be the 2025 winner. That's the way I feel about that. But I feel vindicated because she's lost the TV title, she's lost the Rev Pro title, and with this reviews coming up, guys, she has already lost the TBS title. So it vindicated the professor because, again, wins and losses do matter. Not only Tony Khan says this, but the professor also says this too. And she lost the all-in chance at the title, and she lost the full gear chance at the AEW Women's title. So again, you got to take that into consideration. So now the true considerations for the Female Wrestler of the Year, I gave consideration, Vet and Jimmy, to Naomi. She had one of the greatest heel runs of the 2025 calendar year, but because of a pregnancy, circumstances begat the professor not to give her that award. Another consideration was JC Jane, because again, like I said, with the Career Renaissance Award, what she did during this calendar year. Another consideration, Ash by Elegance from the TNA side, because her 2025 run was pretty goddamn good to herself too. But with that being said, Jimmy, if you please, the 2025 Female Wrestler of the Year goes to Stephanie Vaquer. She is the World Heavyweight Champion on the Raw side. On the calendar year, she was a double champion herself, North American Champion and NXT Champion at the same time. And of course, Match of the Year candidacy as well with her and Io Sky. I'm not counting Nikki Bella feud bet, so don't get it twisted here. But this calendar year, you cannot go wrong with Stephanie Vaquer as the 2025 Female Wrestler of the Year.
No, you cannot. There was only one choice, and you made it. So you may stay on the show. Yeah, that. Not only did she have one of the best, shoot years, but she had one of the best kayfabe years. Because they don't always get behind everybody and push them like that. We see other people that, have similar ability and presence, like Julia, also struggling to find them, or they're struggling to find what it is about her that they need to accentuate. But it seems like even though this is like, it's been a year of successes and titles and things like that, I still feel like in some ways it was very lacking, because we could have had even more of an emphasis put on certain things. So, but there's still, even with all that being said, there's not even a clear, there's whatever the second place choice is so far that they can't even see Stephanie. They can't even see her ample behind from where they are. So it's, it's gotta be La Primera.
Jimmy,
Well,
your thoughts?
I would have gone with La Primera as well in our awards show that we did for HMG, but I went with someone else, but she's still with WWE, funny enough. And I went with, obviously, with Becky Lynch for me. She entertained me the most. But Vaquier is definitely like number 2 for me. You know what I mean? And then Monet probably for me at number 3. So it was a tough one. But for me, I just felt like Becky Lynch was just the most entertaining one, for the year for me.
That's fine, Jimmy. Again, the tabulations are very different for everybody else. But my tabulations, I have to give accomplishments. Again, the wins and losses do matter, and the way the momentum was for Stephanie Vaquer, it could not be denied. So, with that being said, we move on, gentlemen, to the next prestigious award here, and that is the 2025 Tag Team of the Year. And I'm going to have to say this for the history of the Professor's Perspective Awards, Jimmy and Vet. For the last 2 years, I've given an asterisk to the winner because I've never felt comfortable with it, because tag team wrestling has sucked in the last 2 or 3 years, or maybe you can argue with say in the last 5 years. So yeah, I know
10. I could say 15.
I'm just saying, but for the last 2 years, I've given an asterisk. But with that being said, this year I'm very confident with a winner. There's no considerations, Vet. So with that being said, Jimmy, if you please, the undisputed, undeniable 2025 Tag Team of the Year goes to arguably one of the GOATs in tag team wrestling, Matt and Jeff, representing TNA Wrestling, the Hardy Boys. In the calendar year alone, they are still the TNA Tag Team Champions. They have been the NXT Tag Team Champions. They have retired the Dudley Boys in Bound for Glory, and they are the House of Glory Tag Team Champions during that calendar year, and undeniably had the strongest year for tag team wrestling. It was them.
Ed, do you agree?
Yes. I hate them, but I'm as fair as Professor, and you just have to say that there's really no other choice. Again, it's like if we're just talking about tag teams of status, then it's got to be the Hardy Boys. They've just sort of existed their way through 2025. You can't say anything that they physically did is worth consideration at all. It's just the fact that they just are still alive and they're still standing.
Again, I have to give the devil its due, because people might say I'm gonna give it to FTR. I can't do it. I might love FTR, guys, but then if I give him the award every year, then you would say, well, you're a shilling for FTR. So I can't do that. I'm the most dejected man for a reason.
You gotta be honest though. If that's how you felt, that's how you felt. But you guys are right. You can't go past the Hardys this year. I mean, I haven't watched all their stuff. Obviously, I can't have TNA on my list as well. Jesus Christ, watching that much wrestling, but they've really made a lot of noise. So the Hardy Boys get the award. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. So with that being said, we will go on to the match of the year. So again, this one was the hardest award, guys, that I had to really look in all these matches that I like. So again, taste is taste. We have to be honest with ourselves. Even with how many nights your taste in great matches might be different with the Professor's taste. So with that being said, considerations were given. I went all the way back to Wrestle Kingdom, Jimmy. I love Gabe Kidd versus Kenny Omega for considerations. I love during AEW Double or Nothing between Hangman Person Adam Page and Will Ospreay. I love WrestleMania's triple threat match between Seth Rollins, CM Punk, and Roman Reigns. I also loved Evolution between Io Sky and Rhea Ripley, where the Naomi cash-in came to play. But, Jimmy, if you please. With that being said, I'm giving the award almost to potential, almost for the future. representing TNA, Bound for Glory, for the X Division Championship, Leon Slater versus Javon Evans, the 30-minute draw classic. Unbeknownst about that Dark State bullshit that Vet will probably remind me of, but for those 30 minutes, it was one of the great matches of the 2025 calendar year. Leon Slater and Javon Evans.
Vet?
Yeah, that was a good match that they completely fucked up at the end. In more ways than one. I mean, it's not just that the Dark State came in and ruined it, but it's also the fact that they worked a time limit draw when they were in the middle of doing a spot that looked like it could have been a double count out, which would have gotten to the same place. So that was very weird that they did that. Everything about it was weird, but the match itself before all that, pretty good encapsulation of the X Division. What TNA kind of used to use it for, to showcase guys. So I felt like that was a nice throwback. I can't give it a match of the year candidate myself because, the ending's part of the match and it's usually the most important part. So if you can't get that right, then can't really say you're the match of the year. But, I do appreciate the sentiment of, this is, kind of like a spotlight on what, things to come.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't actually watch that. Actually, I think I did watch that match. I did watch Bound for Glory, as a matter of fact. But I went with Cena and AJ Styles at Crown Jewel in Perth, only because it was just the atmosphere and everything about the match. It was just perfectly put. Yes, there was a lot of close calls and all that, near finishes and all that, but still, they absolutely killed it, and that's what I went with. So I'm surprised you went with that, Prof, to be honest.
It was either the love letter to wrestling or the future of wrestling. So either way, I couldn't go wrong.
Absolutely. 100%.
Hey, was my match of the year was probably it was this year that it was Ricochet versus Zach Gowen, right?
Oh yeah, it was. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
that was good.
That's
too.
my match of the year.
that didn't
was
fall.
Actually good.
It was good. It just didn't fall into my tabulation of scores. I know, but
the ending was good. At least the ending was good.
I can't. But yeah, I mean, shit.
With that,
you should have. Oh, sorry. I was gonna say, quick, you should do a little awards thing one day. But anyway,
nah.
But he was like, no, fuck no. But anyway, Prof. Sorry, man. What's next?
What's next is one of the newest awards of the Professor's Perspective Awards, is the most valuable personality. And the way I judge this, guys, is not about wins and losses. It's just about how valuable of TV time, how valuable of maybe storylines that this certain individual has contributed to the product. So it could be anybody, it could be talent, it could be managers, it could be valets, or whatever the case may be. So as long as they have some sort of value on the television screens, then that's what the consideration comes to. So with that being said, the drum rolls, if you please, Jimmy. This is actually a tie, Vet. I had to give it to two personalities representing AEW and the Don Callis family, Don Callis, and representing on the WWE side with the vision, he is the Oracle, he is the advocate, he is the wise man, Paul Heyman. I just think, again, with that being said, I could have gave it to a wrestler, but I think these two individuals have been so cemented on their personal TVs, guys. Of course, Don Callis family with 100 members is always on AEW TV weekly, contributing on commentary and stuff like that. And with Paul Heyman, we can go with WrestleMania, what he did there during the triple threat match. We can go with War Games, and it was basically the Paul Heyman Puppet Master match. And again, what Paul Heyman has been contributing to with Seth Rollins in and out of the ring and stuff like that. So again, I had to give it as a tie between Don Callis and Paul Heyman.
Vet, what do you say about that?
I think that this year, it's ironic that this is a new award and that Paul Heyman would co-win it, because I think this is the year he's been the least valuable to the company. Like, you could definitely take him out of all of that and it wouldn't have made a difference. Now, prior years, I definitely think, all the time with the tribal chief and stuff, I found him very valuable. He was so valuable in like 2 years ago that he sold me on the idea of Cody Rhodes becoming the WWE champion. Like, pretty much almost single-handedly, Paul Heyman did it with the promos talking about the history of his father and the Samoans and all this other stuff, and telling that story. I was like, oh my God, Cody has to win, and that's me talking. So if you can get me, you must be valuable. But now, he's just another guy out there. But he's still doing as well as he ever does with the camera time. I just don't know how valuable he is to the overall thing. He might be hurting it a little bit because he might be spinning the wheels a little bit. Don Callis, on the other hand, I always use the analogy of lemons and lemonade and stuff, right? Well, Don Callis is consistently getting a dump truck full of lemons dumped on him like every single week. He's got to try from the bottom of the pile and being crushed under the weight of it to try to make one glass of lemonade that's suitable for human consumption. And I'm not sure he's able to do it, but damn it, he's trying. So he is valuable for his trying. That is 100% of a fact.
He got Hechicera over, Jimmy. What can you say?
He did absolutely. I can understand when you say,
but I mean, he tried.
Maybe not now, but at least though, I like that though with Don Callis, because I think he's very underrated. People call him a poor man's Paul Heyman. You know what I mean? But he's got his own thing going too, man.
He's nothing like Paul Heyman,
right?
Just because they were both in ECW and they're both bald.
Probably
now.
That's what the marks say, man. That's what I've read this shit a million times. He's a poor man's Heyman, blah blah. But they're nothing alike, as you said. It's probably because when he was Cyrus the Virus in ECW, is probably where they get that sort of connection from, obviously. But in saying that, for me, I would actually stick with AEW too. We never gave an award for this, so that's a shame. But for me, it would be Ricochet, believe it or not, and probably Monet. My top two, like either one of them two would have won the award because they've both killed it in terms of they played the marktards all year, Prof. You know what I mean? And people fall for this shit. And for me, that kills it. That's what you call personality right there. So if I had to give it, it would have been Ricochet and Monet.
I can respect that, Jimmy. Nobody's wrong here. Again, it's just again the way I call it, the way I see it. So I just wanted to give a tie. I don't like giving ties because I think it just kind of defeats the purpose. That's just my opinion. But a tie is a tie with me. So I had to do it. I'll try to break that curse next year, guys, but neither here nor there. But with that being said, we go to the final award of the year, and that is the Male Wrestler of the Year. And again, with this calendar year, guys, a lot of considerations can be made. You can make a consideration to Takeshita, again, for the accomplishments he had this calendar year. I give consideration to Jon Moxley. Even though I don't like the Death Rider storyline, he was what he was during this calendar year, being the champion and all that stuff. And, of course, the Colorado Classic winner. You give considerations to Hangman Person Page, Owen Hart Cup winner and shit like that, and AEW champion. We can give considerations to Cody Rhodes for his calendar year performances. He got John Cena to go from the dark side to the light. And, of course, a consideration does have to go to John Cena himself, breaking the record. I have to put that in air quotes, breaking the record of Ric Flair, 17-time world champion, and becoming a Grand Slam champion to finish off the calendar year and all that stuff. But I'm a fair man, and I'm an objective man. So with that being said, Jimmy, the final drum roll, if you please. With that being said, the 2025 Male Wrestler of the Year, representing the WWE, he is the current World Heavyweight Champion on the Raw side. He's had a big fucking year. He cried when he got the main event for WrestleMania. He had a great match with Gunther at SummerSlam. He was imperative for the War Games and is imperative for the start of 2026 against Braun Breaker, CM Punk. So I had to give it to CM Punk again. There was a lot of considerations, guys, but the tabulations were tried and true, so I had to give it to CM Punk.
Vet Do you agree with that? Is Punk the man of the year? Nope.
Oh, he might be frozen.
Oh, no, you're back. There you go. Did you hear me?
I was definitely frozen. Hopefully I'm back now.
Oh, you are.
Yeah. CM Punk, yep. He had a great year. I know it's funny because we look back to the end of 2023. He comes back in Survivor Series, right?
Yeah.
And immediately, all that you would see is people saying, "Oh, I can't wait till he fucks everything up in the locker room," or "I can't wait till he gets hurt again," or, you know, all these other things. But, and well, he did get hurt, but he still even made.
Well, we'll be back in a second. That's why I'm keeping quiet.
No,
that was a long one.
Yeah, I can't.
There you are. You're back. That was the longest pause, man.
Yeah, I don't even know what was said. Let's just say
you said most of everything except you were about to say something about he got hurt. You know, he came back. You know, people were wishing him. You know, all sorts of shit.
Yeah. Okay, so it just basically, but you know, in 2025 didn't have any of that. You know, no locker room drama, no injuries. It's a straight CM Punk year. He went out on top, and he's, you know, still on top as we were recording this. So we'll see what they decide to do. Hopefully they do the right thing, which is obviously for him to beat Junior. But, you know, we could let the I Like It Raw guys talk about all that kind of stuff on their own.
Yeah, well, thank you there, Vet. Yeah, you can't really argue with CM Punk, can you, really, when it comes to all that? Even though, if you notice, guys, people are shitting on him lately, like, he's not like he used to be. He's slowed down, he's fat, he's out of shape, all because he wore a singlet, like, you know, in one match.
You mean Kevin Nash complaining that he's wearing the T?
Yeah, that too, right. Yeah, it was Kevin Nash, but everyone started saying the same shit. Once Nash said it, all the Mark started agreeing, especially on the Sicko side. So it's like, come on. Give the guy a break, man. He absolutely killed it this year.
I'll say this for the Haminas. Is CM Punk the same as he was from AEW size? No, hell no. He's very watered down. He's a condensed version. He's a corporate version. He, just like MJF said, he's corporate Punk. So it is what it is, but it's still the best calendar year for CM Punk. So I had to give him his just due.
Oh man. Anyway, can I ask you some, Vet, before we move on to sifting? When you freeze, can you still hear us, by the way?
No, everything freezes,
okay,
and then it reloads the page.
All right, cool. I'm just wondering, that's all. Because if you could hear us, then
there's like a rainstorm going on here. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but yeah, the weather's been bad around here, so for some reason, just gotta deal with it.
Don't worry, you're all right, man. But I think it's time we sift through the wreckage right now, Vet, because we got some sifting to do. And Prof, that was good, man. You kept that in real good time because we're not even at the hour mark yet.
Yeah, thank you, guys. Of course, I try to keep it under considerations. Maybe if I had too many choices, I would.
Yeah, that's true. We didn't even do all our choices, funny enough.
Well, let's see how fast we can get through this because, you know, apparently nature's working against me. So, but yeah, it's a new year. It's 2026. We haven't seen you since last year. And somewhere along the way, we got presented New Year's Smash Dynamite. We know Jimmy loves the theme.
Love it.
Even if it's just a name, like if you just call the episode a name, Jimmy hates it. Even if nothing's different about it at all, he just hates it.
I'm looking forward to the Carnage episodes.
Yeah,
that's coming up. Put it that way.
We get a recap of World's End to start with. It's a short recap. They just, you know, a couple highlights just to show you some stuff. MJF arrives to the building. He comes into the ring. He gets his promo. He says, "Fuck the big three," referring to Swerve, Hang Person, and Joe. He brings back the Triple B. Then we get a weird pre-recorded Kenny Omega video where he like challenges him from like, he challenges MJF in, you know, vague terms at 24 frames per second. Then we get Hang Person and Swerve live in the building, coming through the crowd like they do. Hank Person's pants are so tight. You could almost see who's texting him through his pants because his phone's there in his pockets. And he's got his wallet too, like a mark. So
they weren't leather, right, Vet? Those weren't leather.
No, I don't know what they were. I don't know if they were denim either. They were too tight. They're too damn tight. But they come down and they beat up security in the most phony way possible. Even amongst all the times that people have come and beat up security in a phony way, this stood out. And they're working as a team, like, for example, to do a buckshot lariat. Swerve bends over so that Hank Person could spring off his back instead of the ropes. So yeah.
I hated that, man. Straight up. That was
bend
corny.
over for me, bro. That sounds like something Hank Person might say to someone. Anyway, yeah, Joe comes on the screen. He's live though, unlike Kenny Omega's cinematic presentation. Joe's live here, and then he challenges them to a lights out match next week.
Looking forward to that.
My only question is, if you have a lights out match, does that start right at the overrun? Because you're supposed to do the whole show and then turn the lights out and turn them back on for the lights out match. So does that mean you the overrun is the full match, or are they going to start before the show ends and turn the lights out?
Don't worry, Vet. You're thinking too much about this. You remember the great relationship between Khan and WBD is so good, it's so flawless that the overrun will actually be an extra 30 minutes just for that purpose. It is
100%.
If they get an extra 30 minutes, that means it's going to go 42.
Yeah,
well,
it will.
All right. Well, anyway,
let me just say this, because again, from other things we can laugh about with this segment, at least the one positive is with MJF as the champion. The Triple B is back. How many nights? Again, MJF is an anchor. So now we got people who want the belt, and of course we have the three people in there: Samoa Joe, Hank Person, and of course Swerve. But then you add the man from Robert Plant from Led Zeppelin, Kenny Omega. Now he puts himself into the picture. So again, this is old school. This is like World Championship Wrestling Saturday night days. Everybody wants to have a shot at the champ. That's what it is. So I like about that. Again, I wish that Kenny Omega would have been a live segment instead of a tape segment, because that would have been funny if he froze and you're like, wait, ain't he supposed to be live?
God, imagine that.
Again, technical difficulties. I'm not wishing for that, how many nights, but it would have just been funny. But again, for the segment itself, I have no problem with it. Again, it's hokey with the ops, it's hokey with the security. We get all that, and now I can't get that picture out of my mind. Tight pants with a Hank Person page. I don't want to see that now. I'm just gonna focus on Swerve. I'm just gonna focus on the clotheslines and focus on Joe. And then I just wish that the match, because what they did, you could have just built that to the end of this show. Not wait till next week. That's kind of bullshit. This is the old school from the 90s.
Exactly from the 90s. You build it up from there in the main event.
You build up a hot program right here to have a main event scenario for the end of the show, which could have had an overrun if it's lights out, no matter what. But again, you don't save it for next week. I'm not whetting the appetite for next week. You're whetting the appetite for the end of the show. You want to keep me interested, invested to the end of today's show, and they didn't do that.
Facts. I like that. But for me, the only good thing about this whole segment for me was MJF's promo and pretty much Joe's promo. The other two were just fairies. And just even with them coming out, man, I used to love Swerve, but like I said, he's starting to really annoy me lately. Just him as a person too, with his interviews and all that. But he's looking good. I'll give him that. He looks jacked. But Hangman with his tight fucking jeans and shit, like, yeah, just get the fuck out of here, man. Seriously.
Hangman's promo is sponsored by Sergio Valentes.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't think he's getting any sponsorships. So
Yeah.
I will say this. I don't agree about, well, I mean, I'm working within the confines of what was given to us, but they already had a big ending for this show. So you need to have something for next week. And if this is how they do it, that's fine, because that can be a big ending for that show. And you can build up to it in different ways next week if they choose to do so. But what I didn't like was this, it's the same old pro wrestling crap where they do this. Now, they made a point to have MJF arrive at the building, walk in, right? So they show that. Okay, so they do that. Then you do the segment where he goes in the ring. Then I would have liked him go back, and now the camera's following him back, and now Kenny Omega steps in front of him. I mean, I assume he wasn't there, which is why they did what they did. So, right. But assuming he was, now I'm going to put my hand in your chest and be like, hey, I want a shot at that. And he's like, whatever. And he keeps walking, and then the next guy, then Hangman's there. And Swerve is, he starts talking shit to Hangman, and then Swerve steps over, and it's like, oh, okay, now it's 2-on-1. Never mind. Sorry, guys. Anyways, moving on. Then you run into Joe, so on and so forth. Like, that is more interesting. But that way, you get your backstage gimmicks, and it makes it more natural the way he's running into these guys, or these guys are stepping up to him. And you also get the big moment for the arena where he goes out there live and cuts the live promo for everybody there. Because you don't want to just have people sitting in the building watching TV. You got to have a good balance of backstage and front and center for the people. So that's what I would have done differently. Renee is with the Conglomeration and Roderick Strong. The word of the day is asphyxiation. Because y'all going to be choking on these mixed nuts in this mixed nuts tag team match, baby. And Mina Shirakawa is jealous of how Tony Storm and Orange Cassidy seem to be getting along.
No, but come on, the pocket thing, though, get your hands out of your pockets. It was great, though, because it's so true. Get your freaking hands out of your pockets, man.
Yep. Which leads us into Timeless Strong Orange versus the Death Riders, Claudio, Daniel Garcia, and Marina Shafir.
Can I just say one thing before you continue?
You can.
What's up with the red lights in the back there? Like, not even from the entranceway, but like just randomly, they've placed red lights for the Dick Riders to come into the ring, which looks so corny, dudes. I'm just saying, that really stood out to me. Why would they do that? Prof? I mean, Vet's look says it all.
My frozen look. That's my frozen look.
That was a perfect frozen look.
Perfect timing of frozen.
Yeah. But yeah, I was just saying, what's up with that?
With that again, for the Conglomeration and Roderick Strong in that segment, I'm just focusing on what could be, and it's entertaining when you see Mina Shirakawa being jealous of her lover. Definitely. Seeing that Orange Cassidy with his whatever attitude, like, okay, she likes me, I dig it, whatever. It goes with it. It's a funny, entertaining spot for me. So we could see where it could go with right there. Could Mina Shirakawa be like I don't want to use single white female because she ain't white, but again, she could be a single Asian female being jealous of Tony. She can't fathom. She can't even picture another person even entertaining the thought of Tony Storm. That's my girl. That's my property. It works both ways.
It can be entertaining if done right, Vet.
Well, even amongst Japanese women acting badly in English, Mina Shirakawa is outstandingly awful. Oh. But as for the match, Wheeler Yuta grabs Orange by the hair at the last second, even though he's not part of the match technically, but he reaches in, grabs the hair, and then Claudio pops him up for the uppercut. So there you go.
That was a nice one too.
Yeah, they did not choke on the nuts. They did not choke on the nuts.
I think we could say this, Jimmy. We saw this match already. It was at World's End. It was just right, this was a 6-man. This was a 6-person this past Wednesday, but it was an 8-person at the pay-per-view. So it is what it is. Right. So what is the one thing that the Mark Tards hated, guys? for all these years, even before the existence of AEW and me watching a lot of YouTube people review, they hate 50-50 booking. So from World's End to now, we got 50-50 booking. So the Death Riders had to get that win back. Again, I don't care. I'm not saying I don't care. It's not about where the progression is going here, guys. I just say I'm calling out the hypocrisy of the IWC, Jimmy. I'm calling out the hypocrisy of the Mark Charts, Vet. If you hated Vince doing 50-50 booking from pay-per-view to Raw, and Raw to SmackDown, and SmackDown to a pay-per-view, just call it like again, the bullshit. Call out the bullshit. If you didn't like 50-50 then, you can't like 50-50 now. I personally don't care because it goes along with the story. Again, you saw it. Mina Shirakawa just felt some type of way even after the match. Tony is consoling Orange. Mina does not want her to go straight. She wants to keep her as a lesbo. That's fine.
That's true.
But the Death Riders had to win. That's all it is.
I will give credit to Tony Khan, but quickly, at least he said this was a tornado match. So that way tags didn't even matter anymore. So at least they told us that. Whereas if it was a tag match and they were doing all that shit, it would have just annoyed the hell out of me. Sorry, Vic, please continue.
Well, I was just going to say, it's not lost on me the fact that you say keep her a lesbian, but she's actually, it's funny that she's tending to Orange Cassidy, but she's married to a guy named Juice.
No way. Really?
Are you fucking kidding me? Are you kidding me? You didn't know that Tony Storm and Juice Robinson are married.
I thought, no, I do know that. I thought you meant Mina Shirakawa for a minute. That's why I got confused. But I know you're talking about Tony Storm, clearly.
No.
I had to think about that for a second, man. I'm like, hang on a minute.
Well, I'm glad we're on the same page. But you know what? Here's another thing we can get on the same page about. Bandito versus Mortos. Now, we know exactly what kind of a match this is, guys, right? Jimmy, what kind of a match is this for Bandito?
The strong win. You know what I mean? He needs a freaking stupid
strong win. They scrape Mortos out of nowhere just to come on TV and lose just because Bandito's got a big match coming up for the
why did they do
for the Triple B.
He's gonna lose too badly.
I know, that's why we need a strong win here against Mortos so that we can doubt that he might lose.
But the strong win champion is really Mark Briscoe. Remember that it's always Mark Briscoe's belt for the strong win. Bandito's taking it from him. We can't have that. It's got to be Bandito versus Mark Briscoe for the strong win championship.
But at least Briscoe's got a championship, though. You know what I mean?
Right. That's true. He's overcome the strong wins and has become the strong. He's just strong. This won't be the only strong win we see this week, guys. There's maybe a couple more. But yes, and this match also featured bullfighting, if you remember. The classic Matador maneuvers from Bandito. So he's not only an outlaw, he's also a toreador.
El Matador.
But he does get the strong win. So moving on, Renee is with Brodito backstage. Why does Bandito do a better promo in English than Brody King? I don't know, but he sure does. Any thoughts on that, guys?
I close my eyes and, I'm just trying to remember the great luchadors promo styles. Again, Rey Mysterio is the bench. He's the benchmark. Everybody else is down after that. I'm talking about with mass. I'm just talking about with mass, Jimmy. Again, with the mass wrestlers. Again, Eddie Guerrero's the king of that. Is the king. But again, with that being said, Bandito and then, that thick accent, I'm entertained. That's all it is. As long as you entertain the professor, I can pass a lot of things off.
Very cool.
Well,
for Vic, continue on.
Yeah, Shotty Lee versus Brody King. This seems like I haven't seen Shotty Lee in a while, so what kind of a match does this seem like, Professor? Out of nowhere for Brody.
Well, remember, they said this was a standby. Oh, it's going to be a strong. No, I can't give that a strong. No. Not for Brody.
Come on.
Not with Shotty Lee, no.
Come on, we haven't seen Shotty Lee in a while. This is his chance to make a difference.
That's a weak win. That's a frail. I'm going with frail. That's a weak win.
All
Pretty
right.
frail. That is.
Frail win. That's what we're gonna call it. The frail win.
Well,
If
in
Brody
fairness,
King
it
was
doesn't
fighting
take that long.
If Brody King was fighting Josh Alexander, I'm with you. Strong. If
No,
Brody
wait
King
till
was
we get to
fighting
that.
Beast Mordos, strong. If Brody King was fighting JD Drake, strong.
Wait a minute. Wait a
Oh
minute.
God, no.
All right. Well, enough of this. You know who wins. Darby gets a vignette, and he says he's beaten everybody in the Death Riders, but he needs to finish off Pac because he didn't get Pac. So look
You
out,
didn't get
Pac.
back.
Got to get Pac back.
God.
That's a fact, Jack.
Why?
Exactly.
Wait, before you move on, Vet, I don't want to harp on this a long time, but again, just like I ranted on the Wreckage World's End review, I'm just reminding all the Hami Knights, Jimmy, Vet, remember this from the Darby from being thrown down the stairs. He got the ultimate revenge on John Moxley, tapped him out with the Scorpion Deathlock. Now all of a sudden, I guess it was blood and guts that Pac did something. I'm just trying to remember this. Just trying to get my facts straight, guys. But again, the sole purpose is to get revenge on the leader of the Death Riders. Now Pac, he's recycling. We recycle, rinse, recycle, repeat. And now Pac is public enemy number one, Vet. What's going on here?
Well, Darby beat everybody else. So it's kind of like unfinished business, I guess. You know, no, it doesn't make sense. I'm just answering the question you asked. You know, you didn't say Vet, make it make sense. You just said why is he not going? Because Pac escaped the rampage that Darby went on somehow, so he's got to go back and step on him, I guess.
Right. And will he be fulfilled? That's all I'm asking.
That's why we watch.
Gotcha.
So, Josh Alexander versus John Moxley for some reason. I'm not going to bore you with the details, but
it's an eliminator match. If remember there was rules to this bet.
Right, but why was there an eliminator match made?
Because I don't know why.
Yeah, that's what we're wondering.
Well, I can answer this for.
We know what the match was. We know how the eliminator works. We know that if you win, you get a title shot. But I'm just saying, why did you give him the eliminator?
There's a purpose. I actually will defend Tony on this one. He wants to right it wrong, because for the last couple of months, he devalued the Continental title. He has devalued the international title, and in one fell swoop, because of the Continental Classic, he devalued the unified title, which now is de-unified. So now he's got to put stake on this belt. And this is a perfect opportunity because Tony Khan only can entrust John Moxley with this. This is his MVP, his most valuable personality. He wants John Moxley's sole purpose, even though Kazuchika Okada couldn't do it, is to make the Continental title the number 2 title behind the AEW World title.
Whoopity do, and this match drained my life just quietly. This went for so long, and what's it called? Alexander had most of the I felt like he was really he had he got his shit in way more than even Moxley did, and then Moxley, like the hero that he is, comes back from underneath and then submits him.
It's that redemption you're talking about.
Josh Alexander's gonna get his shit in. He's gonna get his shit in.
He sure
and it's gonna hurt. And it's gonna be annoying. But yeah, he does get choked out. So there you go. I would have choked him with his fucking headgear if I was John Moxley. I would have called an audible. I wouldn't have even told him I was going to do it. I would have just ripped off his stupid little ear protectors and choked him with that. And but I would have hit it from the ref.
Yeah, that's perfect.
It's very perfect. He froze at the right time even to say that, because I already know what he's talking about. But I'll say this, Jimmy, when he comes back, it's like now you're seeing maybe Death Riders versus the Don Callis family, because again, the dynamic is weird, Jimmy. We have to understand this. On TV, Vet's back. On TV, the perception after World's End was, John Moxley is the only good guy in all this, even though he's not trying to act like a good guy. Everybody else can be
now. Remember that.
Be villains. Everybody else can cheat. But now John Moxley is the purveyor of everything. Preventative wrestling. He's defending the honor of professional wrestling, and now he's doing all the hero things against Josh Alexander and stuff like that. It just is mind boggling. Again, I still say they missed the boat. I will still say this until it happens. They missed the boat on the Jon Moxley, getting him out of the Death Riders to go to a new direction. But again, it is what it is. I don't think they'll break up until 2027.
Jeez. That's bad if that's the case. And Vet, don't worry, you froze at the perfect time. No shit.
No time is the perfect time.
When
I'm mid-sentence.
But it ended on a full stop, just boom, right there on a period.
That's too bad because I have more to say, but I won't keep going. I will say that the Hurt Business was looking on during this match. That's P and Shelty taking a look. We'll talk about them in a little bit. Jack Perry versus Ricochet.
Oof.
Yeah. I can safely say nobody wanted this, but this whole thing was more so weird after the match. So GOA and mostly Toa neutralized Luchasaurus and dragged him off to the back. And then at that point, at the point of the end of the match, Bishop's able to grab the leg of Jack Perry at the last second and just long enough, and then Ricochet hits a spirit gun and gets the win. Then Toa brings back Luchasaurus, okay? And then he gets like one of those guardrails, like the bike rail guardrails or whatever, and smashes his arm, under the guardrail, and then they start hitting the guardrail with chairs. So his arm is safely protected under the guardrail while the chairs are hitting the guardrail. Yeah. And then security comes out and they get beat up again. So that's twice the security's just gotten tossed around. They're ineffective, obviously. But I'm making this sound like way cooler than it was. It was extremely awkward the way it played out on television. It was protracted, long, and weird. Didn't you guys feel like that when you were watching it? It's like, why is this so much? This is so much effort just to pin Luchasaurus's one arm down. You've got an entire fucking section of guardrail for this.
I mean, and I agree with Josh here saying unsafe work environment for security. I was just thinking they should go on strike, make that into a story like the refs did in WWE back in the day. Something along those lines for like unsafe working environments. But yeah, this was weird. And again, I felt like Ricochet should have beaten freaking Jungle Boy a lot easier anyway. And I think I was reading somewhere Luchasaurus could be injured. And I guess this is their way of...
No, he is injured. He has a shoulder injury. But the simplistic thing could have just been, you could do a backstage segment. He could have been under some desk. He could have been under some, construction stuff. And then you could have GOA over them. And you could have just saved all that stuff. And then Jungle Boy could have been alone trying to fight off three people. And it is what it is. You didn't have to put undue harm on Luchasaurus, even if he is injured. I mean, again, you're right. They're going to protect Luchasaurus as much as they can. But the best way to protect him is could have done a backstage segment. Just keep him down, head down, and he didn't have to take nothing physical. It is what it is.
Yeah, or don't do anything. Just because he's hurt doesn't mean, he doesn't do anything anyway. He was only here just to stand there, right? Because obviously it was going to be a one-on-one match anyways. So just whatever. If he's just going to stand around, just have him stand around and not wrestle then for a while. It's okay. The other weird thing about it, though, is that it just took one guy taking Luchasaurus. So that buries Luchasaurus. Like the one guy grabbed him and basically walked him all the way to the back from the ring. You could have had Bishop and Toa both kick the shit out of him. And the referee can't do anything because they're not legal in the match. And then just have them drag him back there. And then Bishop can come back out for the finish. And then Toa can come out with the other, or they could just go to the back where he already is. There's so many other ways to do this than what they did. And everything they did was stupid. And it made everybody look bad. Nobody looked good in this. Nobody. Not one person. Like Jimmy said, Ricochet needing that much help, to beat this friggin'... Anyway.
Exactly. But Mr. Serge Zilla, your boy Vet, says, I can't stand how AEW never mentioned who is injured. They just disappear. Yeah, well,
Yeah, or they'll say like they'll throw Darby Allin down the stairs right before he's supposed to climb a mountain, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to talk about him climbing the mountain, even though the angle was to write him off TV because he has to go climb a mountain, but he's too injured to wrestle, but he can climb a mountain. See how dumb they are? That's what I'm trying to tell you guys.
Absolutely.
Death Riders promo as a team. 2026. Look out, world. Here we come. It's Death Riders versus the world for Sony PlayStation.
Has it been Death Riders versus the world? It's been Death Riders versus the world.
Right, yeah. Well, but in 2026, even more.
Oh, God.
Even more, exactly.
And with one important difference. Now Jon Moxley is the people's champion. Exactly. So all you people out there in the world, look out. Your champion is coming for you in a weird twist. All right. Anyways.
How the hell was he redeemed, Jimmy? Please explain that. I'm just like,
I fucking don't know, bro.
No
one does.
All right. The Babes of Wrath psych up.
Yeah.
Okay. Big match. Big main event. Renee's with MJF. She's like, are you worried about Bandito? Or whatever. You should be worried about Bandito. I'd be more worried about Brody King cutting another promo. That's more deadly than anything Bandito's going to do. Oh, yeah. I'd rather take a 21 plex right now. Out of shape, retired, everything. I want Bandito to come to my house, give me a 21 plex on my hard floor, than to have to watch another Brody King promo. And now we're at the main event. It's Willow Nightingale versus the CEO for the TBS Championship. Now, I'm going to let Professor go first because you've got the most stake in this. You've been the most vocal about Mercedes and what's the right way to do business. The only thing I will prompt you before you go, and before, like, I'm sure my internet will blank out again, is the only prompt I will give you is, you said it's got to mean something. They got to build up to taking the belt off. So how do you feel they did? The floor is yours.
How do I feel that they did? I think just like earlier we talked about 50-50 booking, there's another word that it's called hot-shotting. You hot-shotted World's End for the win to make a match for this. Now, I have no problem with Willow Nightingale winning the title. Again, because it's a feel-good story. And Jimmy can attest to this because I said this with the Babes of Wrath, and you already know I said this with the Babes of Wrath. It's a feel-good story and stuff like that. I understood the motivation for Tony Khan wanting to book it as a feel-good story right now because he wanted to end the year. I think this is just my own conspiracy theory. Maybe I might be wrong on this. I'm putting too much into this. But he saw the Usos on Monday Night Raw ending 2025, winning the tag team titles. Technically a feel-good story, guys. And now you wanted to up the ante with Willow 2 belts. You end the AEW calendar year in the last show, 2025, with Willow being Mercedes Moné for the TBS title. Now, we can now say this. Was it the right call? I'm going to say no. Mercedes should have won because this was the last belt that should have been lost on her. Every other belt, besides the Owen Hart thing, that doesn't matter. But every other belt, she should be losing if you're going to make this storyline. Again, you got plenty of time to lose the TBS title before maybe the Owen Hart Cup, where she can regain, win it again back to back, and then redeem her. I love that word, Jimmy. Redeem herself, redemption, right? The ultimate redemption to become the AEW Women's World Champion. But again, it is what it is. But I think Tony Khan rushed it. It was the wrong title for Mercedes to lose because that's the first belt. But again, there's nothing left to prove with that belt because she's already beaten Jay Cargill's record. I think she either tied or beat.
No, she tied it. She tied
the number
to break it if she had won.
Oh,
she was going to break it.
She was right there with the number of defenses. She already was record breaking with the TBS title, so she's already done everything she had to do with the TBS belt. I get the concept of that, Vet, but again, in my humble opinion, that was the last belt she should have lost. That's the only way it makes sense. The first belt you win is the last belt you lose, and you already had 9 other belts to lose into the year before the TBS belt. And as I said in World's End, guys, you didn't have contenders for the TBS belt. You hot-shotted Willow. And she's popular. Don't get me wrong. She's a popular girl on the AEW women's roster. And again, I kept saying, you've overshadowed the women's roster of a deep roster with all the women that's available for a hot shot moment. I'm not saying that, Willow is buried because of that concept. She's not. But again, it's just too quick in my humble opinion.
All right, Jimmy, anything to...
I agree. He's exactly what the professor said. I can't even add to that because he's right in every sense. So I'm totally with you there, Prof. So, and well put as well. So yeah, no, I'm with him 100% with what he had to say. So I've got nothing else to add to it.
Well, as you all know by now, Willow did win the TBS Women's Championship.
It's like there was none of us reacting.
There was a lot.
I perfectly handed it off to Professor, and then it buffered right after I was done talking, and he started talking. So I missed the first part of what he was saying, but at least I wasn't cut off. But now it's back to me. Yeah. So Harley and Jet Speed, and then of course the big feel good moment, the long term storytelling.
Didn't have the Jet Speed join the conglomeration, or they conglomerate? I heard conglomeration adjacent.
Yeah, they're adjacent affiliates. They're any of those A words. There are a couple of A words for sure.
Where's the Workhorsemen? They're adjacent too to me.
Yeah, well, they're probably snowed in somewhere. But yeah, Statlander was there. She turns and they have the moment where it's like, oh, look who's there. It's Statlander. Well, they tried to recreate Eddie Guerrero and Benoit for WrestleMania 20. That horse shit. Yeah. Long-term storytelling. There you go. Confetti. We're all happy. Here's what I want to talk about really quickly before, again, I get cut off. All that stuff you said earlier. Okay. That's one thing. Another thing is, one of the things that was talked about a lot the past week is the whole Kyle Fletcher doing stupid shit, William Regal tweeting X-rayed pictures of necks, all this shit, right? In this match, Willow gives Mercedes a Death Valley driver, and she hits the edge of the ring apron. Not flat on the ring apron, the edge of the ring apron. So my question is, and again, Mercedes is like, I don't know if she knew it was going to be the edge. Whenever they talked about it, she probably thought it was going to be safer than that. Right? I just don't know what it's going to take for these, like, how much more, like, how could, you know, when somebody calls you out on something and then you don't want to do it again because you're like, oh shit, they called me out. You know what I mean? Like, what is it going to take when your life is literally in somebody's hands and people are telling you, stop doing this shit, and you just turn right around and go do it? So it's things like that. It's like, why, for all the positive shit like that, it only takes one thing for me to see Willow Nightingale do something like that for her to be dead to me. You know? Because even if either you were reckless and that's what you meant to do and you're an asshole, or you fucked it up and you're unqualified and you're unsafe and, you know, you're taking one of the cash cows and potentially cutting their spine in half for one random bump in a match that it ain't the finish and you're going over anyway. So why do you need to give her a Death Valley driver on the ring apron? What is the point of that? It went nowhere. So it looks like everybody's okay, but it's just another example of like, wow, the body didn't even get cold. You know, I don't even know when we're going to see Kyle Fletcher in the ring again, because we didn't see him this week.
True.
So, you know, we're still talking about this shit and you're already doing it again. Willow Nightingale, the happy-go-lucky fan favorite. Like, just, you gotta do the DVD on the apron, huh?
Vet, can I ask you a personal question here? Because again, for me, I'm going to be fair with this, because I'll say this: it's a generational thing with Mark Tards and the fans, and it's a generational thing with the mindset of wrestlers today. But it didn't just start. It hasn't started in the last 5 years. Even me watching ECW back in the 90s, they've upped the ante.
Of course.
Even with Hell in a Cell, Mick Foley upped the ante for what he did willingly to the first jump off the cage to the Spanish announce table. I'm just giving you examples, Vet. The wrestlers have upped the ante, and I don't want to say the vulture mindset of the fans wanting more, because again, people said back then, we're tired of the 5-minute headlocks and the 5-minute arm bars. We need something more substantial. But now, for me, I just want quality of life. For me, I just want you to do things. You can entertain me, but keep it within reason. She didn't have to do the Death Valley Driver on the outside at the edge, because you're right. It's the hardest part of the ring. Am I mistaken, right? I'm not mistaken with that, right?
It is.
That's what Taz has been saying for 20 years.
Right. So she willingly does a Death Valley Driver on the hardest part, where, again, paralysis, neck injuries can happen. But again, the vultures of fans have upped the ante, and the generation of today's wrestlers have upped the ante of that. So, there's going to be no happy medium. Am I wrong in saying that?
Yes. But you're not wrong with saying it. It's just that it's a matter of perspective. If you say, well, the fans have upped the ante, but the truth is the fans are not dictating what the wrestlers do. Ultimately, the wrestlers still are making all the choices, and the fans choose to get behind the performers that they like regardless. They always have. It doesn't, what Steve Austin was punching and kicking. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sometimes his wife, but that's fine. They still liked him.
Glad you didn't froze when you said that.
Right. And he said it's nonchalant too.
But here's the thing. If you watch this match and you take that move out, there's not one fan on planet Earth, not a fan of wrestling, not a fan of Willow, not a fan of Mercedes, not Dave Meltzer, not one person. If that's not in the match, no one will say, man, that match was good, but you know what it was missing was a DVD on the apron. Because you don't know what you're not getting. You only know what you're getting. So if they keep giving it to you, whether you ask for it or not, we don't know. We can't sit here and say what fans are complicit in this bloodlust, because for all we know, they don't want to see it, or they're just accepting it like, okay, I guess they did that. And then I cheer, but I'm not cheering because I like the potential for somebody to get crippled. I'm cheering because you did it for me, and I'm trying to be polite. Like, I didn't want to be silent when you fucking almost killed somebody, so I guess I got to clap. But does that mean I loved it? Not necessarily. But the point is, if you take it out of the fans' hands to even have to make a decision like that, they won't know what they're missing. And the answer is not black and white. It's not either 5-minute headlock or death-defying bumps. It's not one or the other. It's always been about, if you know how to work, you can be entertaining. Right? So that's what I'm saying. Like, one of the reasons I always say Okada's the best, the reason I say he's the best is because he will not do something to hurt you. He just doesn't. Look at what he does and look at the bumps you have to take from him.
Yeah. Exactly.
Very few. Like, they're just basic flatbacks, like when he gives you a drop kick or he gives you a clothesline or you lie there while he drops an elbow on you. Yeah, Daniel Bryan somehow managed to get his arm broken on that, but that's his fault.
True.
He moved, So, like these things, the tombstone, your head's not touching the mat. The little weird backbreaker thing, your head doesn't touch the mat. It's on his leg. Like, nothing Okada does hurts you except one time in a major main event match when he might uncork a German suplex. But even then, that's just a German suplex. Everybody does that. So the point is, he's having matches that can prolong your career. And everybody says he's one of the best, and Dave Meltzer always gave his matches 5 stars. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a question of I have to do this for the fans' approval. It's just being good at your job. That's all it is. And even if you are going to give somebody a Death Valley Driver on the apron, and even if it's not going to be the finish or lead right into the finish, you can at least lay them flat on the apron and not fold them over the edge, where they could literally break their spine. Mercedes is not huge.
No, she's not. Very petite too, which is true, which is even worse with that spot. But can I say, Prof, as much as even I was an ECW guy, me and you have spoken about this before, Vet, but you can easily sort of blame ECW for what we have today in some ways. I mean, is it wrong in saying that? I mean, it does feel like it's...
No, I get it. I'm just saying that the fans up the ante of their entertainment and somewhat their bloodlust itself. But let's not forget, even in the Southern Territory days, even before ECW was a thing, Jimmy.
Right, like
remember,
Mid-South,
Tennessee, Mid-South. That shit is hard. Southern wrestling was hardcore to the bone. Sure. You know, concession stand brawls and shit like that. So we can't just say, and Skywalker matches. Let's not forget that shit was some dangerous shit. Jim Cornette fell off a goddamn scaffold.
No, you're right. Absolutely.
And busted his knees.
But the difference is Mid-South wasn't really mainstream, like, for example, or Smoky Mountain Wrestling.
But you get it from somewhere.
Right. Of course.
Within the wrestling bubble, you get that kind of information. You get that kind of match stuff. You know, wrestlers scout wrestlers. Companies scout companies.
Absolutely. Right.
Thing. So if you're going to take what works there, maybe I can implement it here in AEW or WWE and make it mainstream, like you're saying. So War Games is mainstream right now. Blood and Guts is mainstream right now. So, you know, they up the ante for that purpose. But like that, you have to, you know, as long as you can balance between entertainment and you can still showcase your athleticism, just be safe about it. That's all.
In retrospect, I find a lot of that shit that they did in the old days dumb also. But the difference between the Skywalker match and a match like a random Dynamite main event is that was a main event angle that drew money. They were trying to get people into the building by saying someone could fall off a scaffold. And even if nobody fell off the scaffold, you know, too late. We got your money. But this was like, no one asked for this. No one said, this is a DVD on the edge of the apron match. Whoever hits a DVD to the edge of the apron wins. It's not, they drew no money with that move. So, you know, you just don't need to do it. That's just my point. But let's move on to Collision, which was a much better show for some reason. I can only assume it's because there was a lot less goofiness, but for starters, the promos to start the show are back. So we get that old school
with that Vet. Sorry to cut in.
Timeless love bombs, Dante Martin, MVP, Darby Allin. We get some promos from all those, and we start out with El Clone versus Angelico. And I was kind of, you know, I like this guy. Who is this? Who is El Clone again? Who did he used to be?
Oh man, someone said
the storyline was he's the darker side of hologram.
No. I mean, who is the luchador that became him? Like, what was he called in his previous run in CMLL or whatever?
Oh, I forgot that one, but
yeah, let's look him up.
I am looking him up right now
because he was good, man. Like he showed some good like flavor in this match. You have it, Jimmy? Aries. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I've seen him before, but not much. But yeah, he's, you know, like he showed a lot of personality in this. He has some cool stuff. And I know we're just talking about,
he looks better too, man.
I know we were just talking about moves and how moves aren't as important, but every once in a while, somebody uncorks a move where I'm like, oh shit, that's not the finish. But it should have been. This should be his finish. But because he actually used the portal bomb, just like, you know, obviously Hologram uses, because he's supposed to be the clone. But right before he hit the portal bomb, he did this thing. I could only describe it as like a tilt-a-whirl backstabber. I don't know how he physically did it. And you're not going to be able to do this to everybody because only somebody athletic as Angelico would be able to take this. But yeah, he started out like he was going to do the tilt-a-whirl like you would give the guy the backbreaker on the knee, but he drops down and gives him both knees, like the gut check or the end of heartache like Roderick Strong does. So it looked fucking sick, and it looked like it killed him, but in a safe way. I mean, see, this is like the opposite of what we're talking about with some move that was quickly forgotten but could have killed Mercedes. But This looked like $1 million, and it probably wasn't that painful to take. So this is exactly what you want in a move. But yeah, I was thoroughly impressed with a Clone here. Oh, did you guys happen to catch this? I know sometimes collisions in and out, just like me.
Maybe for me, I'll say this, Vet, the location kind of helped because they're in Texas and they're doing that residency at the Arlington
video game joint.
Yeah,
I'm just going strictly off of in the ring.
In the ring, but again, the environment does help for El Clon and the Texas area, and of course AAA, CMLL. The fans can gravitate towards that character, just like they gravitated towards Hologram during the earlier residency. So Tony Khan puts at least these guys in the right location for them to shine. So this way we're like, oh shit, they're okay. So I mean, if El Clon debuted in Philadelphia, I don't know if he's gonna get the same reception. He might.
If he had this match,
it's still against Angelico, so we call it a strong win.
I'm just talking about this presentation is like, I feel like if you're doing the flavor of this, if you didn't see it, this is what a get over match is supposed to look like. And that's saying something coming from a person that has to watch AEW on a constant basis. And let me tell you something else in full transparency. I barely paid attention to this match, so I felt it more than I saw it. But what I did see, I was like, I saw El Clone doing like what they call the in-between. He has it. Like, he's not just running through his spots. He was acting like a heel. He was taunting. He was posing. He was doing stuff and acting like a dick, like an evil person that he's supposed to be. I highly recommend it if anybody didn't get a chance to see it. And you tell me if I'm wrong, but I thought that this would get over in any building, in any arena in the world, because what they did transcended just the usual bullshit of like, everything you were saying about what the Mark Tards like and everything like that. It wasn't necessarily for that, but they'll like it. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't just for that. It's classic pro wrestling for everybody, from what I could tell.
Well, for a few seconds, Vet, when he did this, I said, "Is that John Cena unretiring himself?" I was like, "My goodness, that was an evil salute." And let's not forget that. Let's not get it twisted. I was like, "Wait a minute, that's John Cena? I thought he retired. This man lied to me." I was like, "Nah, I'm just playing."
See for Cena.
Yeah, yeah, nice. Yeah. But you know what was good about this match too, though? For a lucha match, if you want to call it that, because I guess Angelico. Yeah. But there wasn't a bazillion near falls. There wasn't all that bullshit, fake falsies and all that shit. It was, like you said, it was actually very pro wrestling. Match. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And that's what was good about it. Plus, the crowd was hot from the start, which also helped. So yeah, that's what made it good. Because usually, any other luchador or luchadors in a match, we're going to see a million falsies and just the usual crap that we usually see all the time. So whoever was the agent of this match, or if it was up to these two guys, I'll take my hats off to them just for that reason alone. So that was refreshing for me, definitely.
Well, after he wins, Serpentico goes to check on his buddy, and then Clone starts kicking him and beating the shit out of him. And then Commander has to come in and make the save there. So, little Commander tease, and we'll see a little more Commander later.
Before we move on, can I just say, do you think El Clone is actually going to get more over than the actual hologram? Because the thing is, hologram's smaller than this version, I feel. Maybe I haven't seen him in a while, but he just comes across as just smaller, and this one's way cooler.
Maybe the presentation, Jimmy, because of what Vet said, like he's evil, he's a dick.
He's just way better, man, way cooler.
And the psychology before using all those flashy flip-leap moves, he's kind of like slowing himself down and doing that, which, that makes him probably get over it. I feel sorry for Hechicero, because if Clone did this so good in his get over match, I'm like, oh my God, Hechicero would be like, oh my God, I'm going to be relegated to ROH now more. Clone took my spot.
More, yeah. Well, I have confidence in Hechicero because I know he knows what to do. He's one of the few. So John Moxley does a promo.
On stairs?
Yeah, he's on the stairs. He's back on the stairs. He's basically, he takes, look, I'm not going to, the promo actually wasn't bad, I guess, if you're taking this in a vacuum. Now, I still don't care about Jon Moxley, and I surely don't care about the People's Champion, Jon Moxley. But if I'm just looking at it, in a la carte sense, it was a good promo. He's basically saying, Shelton's going to have to do more than just hurt me. So, but yeah.
It is. Before we move on to the next segment, I just want to say this quickly, Jimmy. I know you called it redemption. I'm not going to dispute that.
Yeah, you gave me the credit.
It is funny, guys. It's just funny to me that he was willingly wanted to put the AEW World Heavyweight title in a briefcase and didn't want to show it off to nobody. But he's but again, this is what I said. He's very happy to be the people's champion and showcase the Continental belts. Like I said, I think he's trying. His job, thanks to TK, because he could trust him, is to get this Continental belt and become the number 2 belt, because that's still up for grabs. It's wide open. It's not the TNT belt. It's not the international belt. By God, ain't the national heavyweight title. So he's trying to make that Continental belt the number 2 belt behind the world title. That's the way it looks.
And then can I ask, why have you noticed lately? I mean, not all the time, because you do see him with them, but slowly, I feel like he's doing things away from the Death Riders too. You know what I mean? Like you still see him with them, but like this promo, he's on his own. He's not doing it as consistently with all his crew, which is interesting, because are they trying to still get him out of the group in a shitty way though? It's
Foreshadowing.
Foreshadowing.
Long-term booking.
But can we trust even the foreshadowing, Vet? Because we can't even trust that, because we don't even know if it is legit foreshadowing or not.
Yeah, well, the fact, just the fact that he's the Continental Champion means that they're not allowed to be out there at ringside with him. So
that's right. That's true. The rules.
So there you go. He's got to get it done on his own.
That's a great point.
Even though everybody was beating him when they were all helping him.
Weird.
Now he can get it done on his own, because it makes sense. Everything makes perfect sense. Just like the Timeless Love Bombs versus Hyen and Maya World. The team that could have been Tegan Knox and... But, anyways, so yeah. They do that match, and guess who wins? And then Marina Shafir makes her entrance as the Timeless Love Bombs are leaving during their win celebration. So, and then Toy Schiavone's like, Marina's she's gonna do whatever she wants. She's not gonna wait for, whatever. So, all right. So we come back from break, and I don't know why I didn't think of this name. The Mega Problems. That's the official tag team name for Megan Bayne.
They've never been called that, right? In the past.
Well, they are now. It took them a while to think of it too, but they still beat me to it. So I got to give them credit on that.
You're slipping, that was supposed to be you.
Damn.
You wasn't thinking hard about this.
I had Mega in there, but I had Mega Fear, which is like a double.
I actually like Mega Fear
better than Mega Problem.
Yeah,
me too. Actually,
Mega Fear is a double meaning deal. Yeah, it's fear because Shafir and fear because you're afraid. But
right,
I mean, Maria Shafir is the problem solver. I got that part, but it doesn't.
She's the problem. No, she's the problem.
She's the problem. Okay,
she's got to be solved. And she's not going to get solved. Hold on, Jimmy. Let me just get through the match because nobody cares.
And I was going to ask, are they wrestling like colognes? Is that what's going on?
No, they're not. They're wrestling Ray Chanel and London Dior, which is why you may think that. But certainly they are people.
Okay.
They might as well have been cologne bottles though, because they got knocked over pretty easy. It's no big deal. Then we get another.
Buried in catering. That's the cologne names. That's what Jimmy.
I should say perfume, really, because they're chicks.
Yeah,
but,
Chanel and Dior. The Callis family beats up the AEW staff in the hallway while Josh peps up Hechicero and Lance Archer. What is it? What must it like to be Lance Archer? What's the day in the life of Lance Archer? These days.
I can tell you, he's legitimately frustrated too, though.
Good food.
Yeah, he's happy about that, but he's frustrated too. I've actually sort of spoken to him about even John Enright, where he even retweeted what I said once a couple of years ago about how he's being used. So I know for a fact he's kind of frustrated, but like you guys said, the checks are clearing, and at least he's been on TV somewhat.
Yeah, well, somewhat, but all right. Well, now that Hechicero's been pepped up by Josh Alexander of all people, we needed Josh's promo skills to get Hechicero ready for this. By the way, when he was talking, he had somebody in an ankle lock, just so you knew that he was participating in this beating. Commander versus Hechicero. Now, again, a strong win, a random strong win. Although, Hechicero is usually the guy that's the strong win for somebody else. And even Commander, you could think, I could have thought he would have won the match. It wouldn't have been crazy for Commander to win, but more importantly, he doesn't. Because Clone comes back out, shoves Commander off the top. Now that's actually connecting the dots from earlier, because he came out and made the save earlier. So now it's like, haha, fuck you. I'm going to cost you the match. So he does that. And then Hechicero rolls him up in some crazy pin thing that only a wizard could do. And wins the match actually on Commander. But the important thing for this, and we've already spent enough time talking about it, so we won't rehash everything we just said, but another unsafe, Hechicero sort of like tossed Commander into the barricade, kind of like Seth Rollins would have done, but even worse than the Finn Balor one. Luckily,
his lower back hit the top of the rail.
It was gross. But the whole thing is, you can't really see, like it's a scary bump when you can't really see where you're going and you're flying like that. It's one thing when like, okay, well, I'm taking a bump and I'm hitting the mat eventually, but when you get thrown forward, you get thrown out and back, it's definitely scary. So I guess he's okay again, but just you didn't need it. Not for this, not for, Hechicero's the technical wrestling guy, so you don't need that. And he's much bigger than Commander, so you don't really need that. Anyways. But yeah, so another nice match, like kind of like the first match, but different. Hechicero's got a different style, so he can get over in a different way than Clone. But this was less of a get over match for Hechicero and more of like supposed to be like a 50-50 who's gonna win type deal. So ended up being a little bit better.
I'm telling you, Vet, his days are numbered because of El Clone. What you just said earlier, he's on it. He's going to be relegated at ROH.
I don't know, man. I mean, they're all in the family. They should be they could be an unstoppable tag team.
Could be, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I would actually be cool. I'd be down with that.
And because Clone is my new favorite and Hechicero is already one of my favorites, like now you take two a la carte menu items and put them together for me, I think you got something here.
That's a big blank right there.
Untapped.
Yeah. Now you're only going to win the Ring of Honor titles. I understand that. You're not going to. They're not going to go too crazy with them. I'm trying to be realistic. But anyways, the Acclaimed vignette. Did you guys see this?
Yeah, I did.
I have questions.
Okay.
My question is why, which is entertaining. Again, it's entertaining. Don't get me wrong, Jimmy, but why is Tony Khan putting it on himself for team building? Why is the booker doing this? This should be Billy Gunn or this should be Jerry Lynn. I can understand if you're doing this team building or trying to get them back. Why is the owner of AEW involved in this? He should have nothing to do with this. He's a matchmaker. He shouldn't be doing something for a team. It makes no sense to me.
Where is Billy Gunn?
I'm just giving you the names, Jimmy. It should either be Billy Gunn or it should be Jerry Lynn, because that was the two people that were close together with the Acclaimed and all that stuff going on.
Right. But it's TK himself. And, can't they just be decent human beings to each other, boys? Isn't that the whole goal?
No. The answer, of course, to your question, Professor, is who cares? But if you want me to play along, then the answer would be, well, the other two guys have given up, and it's left to the boss to finally we know Tony's a numbers guy. He's an analytics guy, so he's looking at all the merchandising and all the needle moving that the Acclaimed has done, as opposed to when they've gone on their own. And he's saying, look, if you guys want to still work here, it's got to be this way or no way at all. Of all the things that they do, this is not where I would critique them in their logic department, bro. This actually makes some kind of sense if you really think about it. The only problem is where I agree with you is, if you do it here, why aren't you doing it across the board? You can make content if you use consistency in your angles. You can make content for your whole show. It's easy content that writes itself. So if you got these two guys that aren't getting along, then there's a storyline about that. But now you can have storylines about other things, like, you know, why are these people allowed to beat up security with no repercussions, or so on and so forth. Like, if you're going to be the boss everywhere, be the presence, or have somebody like the Jerry Lynn to be the voice of you. Like, I'm Office, or like Christopher Daniels was supposed to be for 10 minutes before he teamed up with a cheese sandwich. And his two other flying cheese sandwiches. Yeah. And a woman.
Kenny Omega.
And a woman.
Kenny Omega's still the EVP, so you know he could do it too.
Allegedly.
Well, yes. Vet, do you think they're stretching this out too much?
No, they're not doing it enough, because I don't remember anything from the Acclaim last week, was there?
No, because this segment like spanned 2 weeks, Jimmy. That's what it was.
Right. I was going to say, Will didn't they?
Whatever the vignette was, one was in England and then one was in New York. So they was trying to like curtail, but you know, they were trying to combine the two. So, you know, go from there.
All right. Well, anyway, Shivani brings out Eddie Kingston and Ortiz, and they spend their TV time to call out Grizzled Young Veterans. Good job.
Wow. Are we going to forget about Hook now? Is that done? Are we just done with that now?
Yeah.
No. This is a building block, Jimmy. Remember, you got to crawl before you walk. So you got to feed them the Grizzled Young Veterans, and then they'll move up to the ops. You got to remember this.
I fucking hate
and they'll get the grizzled or younger or veteran Hook.
Yeah. There you go.
I really don't like those guys, man. I really don't.
Yeah, you don't. Lexi's with Big Bill and Big Business Bad Apple Bounty Hunter Brian Bakeith. I bet they miss Jericho right now. And then they have a match with Jet Speed. And as much as I hate the low bridge spot, they did it twice to Big Bill in this match and made him look like a fucking moron, even more than he already does for this. No, I'm not talking about Big Bill. No offense to Big Bill. He's trying his best, but he just can't get past the booking. So it's just, you know, that's his ultimate big opponent, you know, is the booking.
Well,
and
you know,
at least they don't beat him. They beat Bakeith.
To be fair here, Vet, I bet you Lance Archer would trade places with Big Bill, because Big Bill is at least on TV more.
That's true. Well, I mean, not lately, but I mean, yes, when he is on TV, he seems to be a more high profile than Lance Archer. Mm-hmm. If Lance Archer was in this tag team, they would have beat him, not Bakeith. But yes, nice UFO splash from Kevin Knight. He's pretty good at flying. The Grizzly Young Veterans answer the challenge.
In a pub or some shit? Where were they?
I think that they're grizzled.
Fuck them.
Okay. Shelton Benjamin versus Dante Martin. Okay. This is that match. This was supposed to be the cheese sandwich, but they got the other cheese sandwich. And this is the one where, as Professor was saying, during one of the commercial breaks, but you would have seen this if you had
fight
during one of the commercial breaks. You would have seen this if you had been watching one of the other feeds like Triller or whatever. So MVP actually gets on the microphone during this match while Dante Martin's got his ass kicked on the outside and he's selling, and he's like advising him, just take the count out. You know, you stepped up. Scorpio wasn't here. You know, like just take the count out. Just take the count out. He tells him to take the count out. Okay. All right. So I don't know what you heard, but MVP got on the house mic and told Dante Martin take the count out during the match.
I didn't see it. I watched it through my cable provider.
Okay. I'm sorry. I can't tell what cut me off and what didn't, but you know, anyway, it's a strong win either way. Like whether Scorpio Sky was here or whether one of the Martin brothers, this is a strong win. It's a strong win for Shelton Benjamin because he's got to take on Jon Moxley. So you have to make it look like Shelton Benjamin's going to beat Jon Moxley. And you're going to do that by, it was going to be Scorpio, but couldn't make it. Or maybe he found out he was doing the job and got hurt.
Maybe.
Come on.
Very conveniently.
Maybe.
Very conveniently.
It is convenient.
I got I got to get my tinfoil hat, Jimmy, for that.
No. But you know what? He brings up a great point, man.
Don
Guys
Stevens.
do this. It's true. You never know.
I just want to say, this is did Scorpio Sky see how this match was going to go and then get hurt?
Maybe.
Okay. That's your conspiracy theory. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, shit. I wouldn't put it past him for real.
Yeah.
Like, you never know.
All right. So anyway, yeah, strong win. MVP gets back on the mic to praise Dante and warn Jon Moxley. Basically, he does a long time, and yes, like Professor alluded to, he buried Scorpio Sky. So, oh come on, all right, you know what?
You ain't frozen. You're good.
I'm sorry. It looks like I am.
You're good. You're totally good. Trust me.
Oh, no shit. You thought you were frozen then? No. We'll tell
yes. Well, you guys did freeze for my screen, so I can't tell.
Interesting. That's weird.
It's like you guys.
If you freeze,
there
I
it
will
is right
talk.
there.
Don't
Like
worry.
if
you
frozen.
freeze, I will
I don't
talk.
know if anybody can hear me.
We can hear you.
Okay.
We can hear you, bro.
Okay. I don't know. I feel like I should hand off the hosting duties because I can't get through a single thing.
You haven't cut off at all.
We got
Like,
the whole
collision
year.
part.
We got the whole year, Vet. Don't worry about it. We will work on the flaws. We'll work on these flaws.
I'm sorry, it keeps freezing. It keeps freezing for me.
Bro. Well, I don't know what's going on there, but as far as the show goes, yeah, it's not cut out on the collision part of it.
All right, well, I'm done with that anyways. Do you guys have anything you want to say about the whole MVP, Shelton, Jon Moxley, Martin Brothers, Skyflight, anything?
Again, I probably will be simplistic, Jimmy and Vet, with this because, again, scouting. I mean, Jon Moxley is doing things on his own. Like Jimmy, you said with the promo, he's doing things on his own. Why not scout your talent? Why not scout your competition for the eliminator match? He doesn't have to do ringside commentary, but he could be in the bleachers. He could be on this ramp. Well, he doesn't do the ramps. He just could be on the outside with his peoples, just watching Shelton Benjamin kick ass, or make this match the winner gets the eliminator match. At least give it some intrigue. Give me some sizzle with this match. Because then I know Dante was never going to win, guys, but at least Dante could be fighting for something, and it could be more interesting. That's all.
They do this shit in like 1 week. See how they do things? They start feuds and end it in a week, pretty much. Like, that's how it feels like. That's what they do. Why can you?
It's just a strong win, Jimmy. It's just a strong win.
Yeah, but whatever, man. It's just stupid by the way they do things. But anyway, it is what it is. Please continue, Vet.
All right. Earlier in the day, Lexi and Bandito and Guevara. Why is he so angry? That's what Bandito asks. I don't know. Then there's a letter from Stokely that was read by Tony Schiavone on the air.
And a foundation that you can donate some money to Stokely's cause, for the medical bills and everything. So keep your press.
The bills are over $400,000 apparently.
Yeah, 400,000.
That's a lot of money.
Damn, healthcare is expensive, Jimmy. You don't live here. Me and Ben know this shit.
It's for free down here, brothers.
Yeah, healthcare is expensive. Got to do what you can do.
I could imagine. That sucks, man. That's yeah.
The main event is Wheeler Yuta versus Darby Allin. Now, this is because, and I didn't mention this, but this is because Yuta said, if you want Pac, you got to go through me back on Dynamite during that promo where they all cut. So this is that. So Jon Moxley's on commentary for this. Marina Shafir is blatantly tripping Darby Allin and gets ejected. Tony Storm comes out and peels her off, and they go fight to the back. Garcia nails Darby Allin for a 2 count. a false finish. You think it's, oh, he got him. Nope. Then Darby dives on him and takes him out. And then now it's fitting that we talked about 2 gross bumps earlier in both the shows, right? Because these guys did a bump that looked like the most dangerous thing in the world, but was actually way safer than anything that most of the people did, especially those 2 spots that we already talked about. But if you didn't see it, and I urge you to go back and just scrub to this point in the match, toward the end, just watch like the last 5 minutes of the match. Darby Allin's on the apron, and Wheeler Yuta comes in with like one of those 1-footed drop kicks, like kind of like the Daniel Bryan Psycho knee or whatever. And Darby Allin takes a bump where he flips. He does like a 360 flip off the apron and lands on the floor on his face. Right? But it looked beautiful. And the timing of it was beautiful. But really, nobody was in danger. It was a safe bump for Darby to take. And all Wheeler Yuta had to do was a drop kick. So it looked like $1 million. Is way safer. Now, the only problem is it didn't lead right into the finish. It didn't mean anything because the match just kept going, and Darby hit him with a couple coffin drops and then pulled him up on the 3 count and gave him the Scorpion Deathlock, and he tapped out. But just in the context of what we discussed of how this looked spectacular, but was not nearly as dangerous as it looked. It looked very dangerous, but because these guys know what they're doing, and it was a good match, like other than the psychology problems and stuff that I can nitpick apart all day. But, for these 2 guys, they both get to wrestle somebody their own size this time.
But I think that Darby carried that flip, that somersault flip himself. Everything else was very one-sided. It was all Darby making it look beautiful on that end.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it was so good. It looked so amazing. And that's the whole key of this whole thing that we do, guys. I don't even want to include myself. This is the art of what they do. You make it look like it's killing somebody and nobody gets hurt. That's the key. The people can't tell the difference. So the only way, that you think that you can make them believe in what you're doing is to actually hurt people. No, unless you're the Hurt Business. No. So,
no, you're right. That's well said.
That's all I don't
even know what to call that. Sorry.
So that's all I got.
Oh well, I'm
not going to get any more anyway. The internet just won't stop. So,
did you cut out just then? Just a second ago.
They'll have flawless matches, and then, but again, from the storyline purpose for Darby, he had to beat Wheeler to get the Pac. So now he did that. Now he's got to get the Pac to get the ultimate revenge. For a feud that should have already been over, and for Darby to move on to bigger and better things. There's titles to be won. There's other.
He don't care about titles anyway.
That's the problem.
He said that himself. Just saying, yeah.
Well, if he didn't care about, why would he be in the Continental Classic for a cup of coffee?
Well, why didn't he win the freaking world title when he should have won it? You know what I mean? But anyway, and they still put confetti and everything. What did he win? Nothing. Mm-hmm. But I just wanted to say, did you guys see what he did to his brother when he proposed to his girlfriend? Did you guys see that?
Put lighter fluid on him.
You didn't see it, Vet? Oh, God. We love Darby, but man, I don't know. There's something wrong with him because he lit his brother up, legit, lit him up while he was proposing to his girlfriend. What made it funnier, though, is the girlfriend shot herself at first and ran away. And then they're begging her, come back, no, come back. And then he got on his knee as he's on fire. It was just dumb. It was just stupid. I don't know why they're into this weird shit, but yeah, the missus loved it seems.
Are they related to Superhuman, the guy who just falls on the table?
Oh my God! No, that's Wheeler Yuta, probably.
Maybe that's a distant cousin to Darby.
Yeah, man. I don't know. Darby's a weird cat, man. When you see him in interviews, he's really weird. I'm not gonna lie, but I do like as a wrestler, love him. But as a person, he's a bit out there for me.
The look is there. He's an enigma. That's what's great about him.
Definitely.
I mean, 100%. very athletic, and again, you know,
He
nobody
understands who
wanted him.
he is too. He gets it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
but he's
Vet,
missing out on bigger and better things for himself because again, he wants to climb mountains. He wants to, you know, skate and do stunt things. Again, this generation for himself, he represents a problem with the generation because again, I'm not going to say he can build more money. He can make more money for himself, Jimmy. What I'm saying, but there's a lot of money on the table for Jarby. He could be the next
right.
thing or something like that. I don't want to, you know, that the bar is set too high for that shit, but he could be the next thing if they do it right.
I agree, and I've got a feeling Vet's not coming back to the show because
the
he's frustrated with his internet.
The monsoon is hitting, so he just doesn't want to go. So there's nothing left to say for that.
It's understandable, man. We get it, and we are at the end of the show anyway, Prof. Unless there's anything else you want to touch on, I guess we can wrap it up, right? I mean, is there anything else we need to touch on at all?
No, there's nothing left to touch on. So if you missed the winners of the Professor's Perspective Award, all the winners are on this link right there below. YouTube.com/@Pro Wrestling Reflection. So you can see all the winners if you missed it here on the Wreckage. So, and we will be recording for 2026 a new episode of the Pro Wrestling Reflection with myself and the Tommy Wonder. And we're cooking up something. We're gonna do a what if, guys. For next week, what if Ricky Morton had a run with the NWA World's Heavyweight Championship?
That's a good what if, actually. I like that. Pro Wrestling Reflection, don't miss it, peeps. Vet, I'm glad you're back. I didn't think you were going to come back, to be honest. I thought, you've done. But since you're here, man, what are you doing? And I know it's frustrating, bro, but is it going to affect you even getting onto Twitch?
Probably. I don't know what I'm going to do, but we'll see.
Give it a run and see what happens, man. Because sometimes with video games, it doesn't really always frozen out, but
it's already Ad Opinion Haver. Okay, bye everybody. Bye.
All right, there's the
play the music. Get us out of here, Jimmy.
Let's get out of here. Well, anyway, if you want to follow me, you can right here at Hummy Media Group's YouTube channel. Keep liking us, keep sharing us. We very much appreciate it. So just keep getting us out there, and hopefully the algorithms will be hitting for everybody else to catch us. Also, you know what? I don't think there's anything else. Just check out all our shows. This coming Tuesday, me, myself, and of course, Big Ray Hernandez will be talking all things Monday Night Raw for I Like It Raw, your Raw wrestling review show every Tuesday mornings. But also catch tomorrow. We're going to be doing the Wrestle Kingdom review, and hopefully Vet's internet will hold up. I'm praying, because I know if it's not, he's going to be like, fuck this, I'm not doing it. But hopefully it does hold up. And Prof, if you watched it, you can join us too if you like, man. It's going to be myself, Jargo, and the Vet talking New Japan. Because if you did watch it, you might as well put some use into it, as a matter of fact, if you want, that is.
Well, like I said, I like the last 3 matches for myself. That was my entertaining part. The other gimmick, 8-man, 6-mans, I wasn't too much into. So, and of course, the reason that I was up was because the bubble guts hit me, and I could watch Hiroshi Tanahashi's final match against Kazuchika Okada. So that's what I was most interested in.
Interesting. Wasn't Kenny there too? Kenny Omega was there as well, right? Because that's what I was reading.
You want me to give you that part?
Do we see him in the ring?
Mm-hmm. Kenny Omega.
Does he wrestle?
I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to say who was there. Kenny Omega was there. We had a Jay White sighting. We had a Will Ospreay sighting. We had a Shibata sighting. So I just that's all I'm going to give you. So to get some appetizers. That's your appetizer, Jimmy.
That sounds like a whole bunch of superheroes about to form. When your powers combined, I am something. I don't know what it is, but could it be wrestling Mark Tards? Who knows? But tune in tomorrow at 1 p.m. We go live to talk all things Wrestle Kingdom. If you're into Japanese wrestling, so look out for that. Of course, go and check out the Smack Attack with myself, and of course RBV, and also the Hammer, Charles Evans, where we had a great show also talking about SmackDown and everything else. And that's about it, man. So in saying that, I am Jimmy T. He is my co-host, the professor and the magnanimous and glorious Chabelo Vera Cruz, and you've been listening and watching the
Wreckage, boy.
live right here on the Media Group's YouTube channel and not on channelattitude.com anymore. So remember that. So till next time, peace.